Oh, I'm recording. Okay, book up without. Why are you blurry? This book is getting heavy in my hands. This is gonna be such a long video. Hey fellow fiction fanatics, I'm Chase. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my monthly wrap-up for September. In September, I was trying to do 2 readathons along with my own TBR game, and it was my birthday month. Plus, I had a lot of other things that came up, and that's why I haven't been posting so much lately. Becca's Bookopoly-a-thon had me try to read 8 books, and I did not do that. Instead, I was able to read 11 books somehow. I don't know how that happened, but somehow it did. Also, a few days after I did my own TBR game, I learned about Spoopathon, which is a readathon that's going to happen in October, and I definitely want to participate in that. But because of that, I have to move a few things around with my own TBR game. So because of all this, I will leave timestamps down below if you want to skip ahead to any books that I will be reviewing. So there's definitely a lot of challenges and books I'm going to be talking about. So let's get into it. The first book I'm going to be talking about is The Magic Tree House by Mary Pope Osborne. I actually read the first 8 books in that series. This is for my Throwback Thursday challenge where I read a book that I loved when I was a kid. But I'm sure you all know that this is the story of Jack and Annie as they find the Magic Tree House, and they go on adventures through different times and places throughout history. This was definitely a quick, fun, simple, and educational read. Definitely think it's perfect for young readers, and I loved Jack and Annie's different personalities. Also, I hadn't realized how soon they actually meet Morgan Le Fay. But overall, I gave these books 5 stars because they are perfect for young readers. So these books completed my own Throwback Thursday challenge, and for Becca's Bookopoly, these books helped me read a book with the time of day in the title. The second book I read was The Adventure Zone. This is a graphic novel version of a D&D podcast. It features 3 adventurers, a dwarf, an elf, and a barbarian, as well as their DM, or dungeon master. This book definitely made me laugh, and the characters really grew on me. I really liked that the DM would just sort of pop up and you'd sort of get his commentary or his interaction with the characters, and I thought that was great. I really liked that aspect that was included into the graphic novel. I thought the story was decent. I wasn't too intrigued up until the very end, but this is the first book and the start of the story, so that totally makes sense. And I will definitely be continuing on with these to see what happens next. But overall, I give this book 4 stars. For Becca's Bookopoly, this completed my chance card. And for the Cerulean Magical Readathon, it helped me with my character creation because it featured a book with an elf. So I will be from the province, this is how you spell it, but that's my province. I'll try to figure out how you say that, but those were the challenges that this book helped me complete. The third book I read was Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. So this book features Grace Porter, who has just earned her PhD in astronomy. She always has a plan, and getting drunk in Vegas and marrying a girl whose name she doesn't even know is not part of it. I like the romance in this book. Yuki is so sweet and smart, and I really liked Grace and Yuki together. I thought they fit really well with each other and brought out the best in each other. For me, it definitely felt like they found their other half, and I was really happy for them. I really enjoyed the message of finding yourself and not working yourself into the ground. I thought Grace's friends were great, especially Raj. He was definitely my favorite. And I thought it had a lot of great quotes. But there was definitely a few things that I did not like about this book. Miss Debbie was irritating. She frustrated me beyond belief. If a teenager gives you sass, you don't hold a grudge for years. It's just ridiculous. Like, that's what teenagers do. Put yourself in her shoes. Come on. Be the adult. Seriously. I just felt like this resolved halfway through, and then the author went, and here's a reenactment of what happened. Oh, dang it. I wanted to have some other plot points in there. Right, okay. No, I can fix this. Let's see. I'll just add an unnecessary conflict. And now we'll just insert those plot points here. Yeah, good. These are important. Should have put these in earlier, but it's fine. Now we'll just add a cheesy yet romantic ending, and boom, there we are. Perfect. Yes, some of those things were necessary and needed to be addressed just health-wise and stuff like that, but I don't know, I just felt like it resolved and then oh yeah, here's some other things. Now we can have our resolution. So because of this, I gave the book 3 stars. This book did help me complete my Try a Chapter challenge. For Becca's Bookathon, this completed my new book challenge. And for the Cerulean Magical Readathon, I used this book to complete The Mist of Solitude, which is to read a standalone. The fourth book I read was Graveyard Shakes by Lara Terry. I was expecting this to be a cute story where a ghost meets some kids and they become friends, like a Casper sort of story. But instead, this was a story about these two sisters who are at a boarding school for the first time, and they're struggling to find their place and make new friends. My real issue with this book was that it was so vague. These two sisters were just suddenly at the school, and one of them really didn't want to be there, and the other one was trying to get the other to be there. I wanted to know why they were there in the first place. I didn't know if they were homeschooled, had their parents died, why were they at the school. Felt that could have been explained more. What was with the creepy doctor and the kid? It was just too creepy. I wanted spooky, cute, and fun, and instead I just got creepy, weird vibes. I didn't feel like this graphic novel had a plot or a moral even. I just didn't like it all that much, so I gave this book 2 stars. But it did help me in the Cerulean Magical Readathon for the Ruin of Sky prompt, which is to read a book featuring a supernatural creature. And this book definitely had ghosts. The 5th book I was able to read was Fairest by Marissa Myer. This is a novella that you're supposed to read between Cress and Winter. I originally thought this book was necessary. I have since changed my mind on that. This book features Lavanna. It is completely her story. It's everything prior to Cinder. Lavanna is insane and delusional. Personally, I would not recommend reading this. I have no sympathy for Lavanna, except for what happens to her as a child. Her sister is also very unpleasant. But other than that, yeah, I don't like her. She's not a good person. The only thing I liked about this book was seeing Winter's father and mother and seeing her and little Jason. The only other thing I would say I liked is seeing the Snow White references within the story. I'll put spoilers here, it's not that big of a spoiler, but like that Solus made Winter an apple blossom blanket. That's something I hadn't noticed prior. Or that her father is the one who gives her the sour apple candies, which become her favorites. That was really sweet and cute. That was the only highlights of this book. It's not a bad book, it's just the fact that you're in Lavanna's head the whole time and she's just awful, and this just really impacts the reader's enjoyment of the book. And the thing is, I realized that everything I thought I liked about Fairest is actually in Stars Above, which is the other novella in the Lunar Chronicles, so definitely read Stars Above and don't worry about Fairest. All the reveals in here are already revealed in the other 4 books, so this isn't really that necessary. It's unpleasant, and I wouldn't recommend. If you do want to know what happens in this book without having to endure the 290 pages of being in Lavanna's head, I will leave a link to my review on Goodreads where I go very in detail about everything that happens. So check that out if you'd like to know. So overall, I gave that book 2 stars, and for Becca's Bookopoly, it did help me complete my challenge to read a small book. The 6th book I was able to read was Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. This is the prequel to The Hate You Give and features Maverick, Star's father, and we see everything that he's had to go through as a teen father, which is a perspective we usually don't get. We get the teen mothers usually, but not the teen fathers, and I really enjoyed having his perspective. I liked learning more about his story and his family. I also loved his friends who were like family to him. His ma and Dre were definitely my favorites. He definitely has his ups and downs. I love seeing him grow, not only as a man, but as a father. He grows so much, and I love that about him. Seeing how Seven and Star got their names was so great. I also absolutely loved the reference to Dear Martin. If you didn't catch that, there totally was. I have been saying how these 2 authors and these stories are so great. Dear Martin needs to be as celebrated as Angie Thomas's books. I literally squealed when I read the reference in here. It made me so happy. The one thing is, I wanted to know what led to Maverick going to jail. Obviously, that was the favor that he owed King, but I want to know what actually went down. Like, that's the one thing I was missing from this book. But overall, I gave this book 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. Angie Thomas can do no wrong. She is amazing. I will read anything and everything she puts out because she's just that good. So this book helped me complete my challenge to read a book that is on my TBR cart, and now I get to move it to my bookshelf, which is where I put my completed books. For Becca's Bookathon, this book was my most recent purchase book. And for the Cerulean Magical Readathon, this helped me complete the Cerulean arc to read a book with a school setting. The 7th book I read was River Secrets by Shannon Hale. This is the 3rd book in the Books of Bayern series, which is one of my all-time favorite series. In this book we follow Rezo, and he goes on a mission to Ingridin, which is Tira's capital, as they try to work out a peace treaty. As they make their way to the capital, Rezo happens upon a burnt body and has to figure out if someone is trying to set up Bayern or if Enna is burning once again. We've got the world and the characters all set up within the last 2 books, and now we can just jump right in and see what's going on with these characters and go into Rezo's story. The first time I read this, I did not like this book. I don't know why, because this one was actually my favorite so far, I think, which is saying something. I have no idea why I didn't like this before, but I absolutely loved it this time around. I love both the romantic and friendship relationships in this book. They're just absolutely phenomenal. Rezo and Enna are best of friends, and they're constantly teasing each other like siblings would, and I just love their relationship with each other. And I love seeing Rezo really come into his own, because in the past he's just been a side character, a lovable side character, but in this one he just blossoms so much, and I just love seeing him come into his strengths and seeing him make new friendships along the way. And I absolutely love his sense of humor. He's so funny, and I was constantly laughing in this book. Rezo is definitely a third wheel, and he doesn't realize this, and I love his obliviousness. It just adds to his charm, and he's so sweet, so fun, and just an all-around good guy. I also love that we got to have a new city, and that Rezo got to explore all of that. So that was really fun as well. And oh my gosh, that ending, it has my heart. This book had me have an OTP before I knew what OTPs were, which is one true pairing if you don't know. As you can probably tell, I gave this book 5 stars. I just absolutely loved it, and I can't wait to continue my reread of the Books of Bayern. So this book helped me complete my On My Shelf challenge, and for the Cerulean Magical Readathon, this book helped me complete the Novice Path because it has not 1 map, but 2. I can show you here. So here's the first map, which has all the kingdoms. And then the second map here has Ingridin and shows like all the rivers and the coastal city there. And the 8th book I was able to read was Winter by Marissa Myer. This is the amazing finale to the Lunar Chronicles, which are fairy tale retellings in the future in space. They are absolutely amazing, and this book features our Snow White main character, Winter. And we are now on Luna. So much has happened, so that's pretty much all I can say without spoiling things. I loved everything about this book. I especially love seeing Winter and Jason and seeing their relationship and how they've been friends since they were born practically. The relationships in this book are perfection. I absolutely loved the character dynamics. They are just above and beyond. The humor is so great. I absolutely love these characters, and it was just so good. Being on Luna and seeing how it's run was both intriguing and irritating because a lot of stuff that's not right. The plot had me constantly on the edge of my seat, and Marissa Myer has the amazing capability of making her own captivating story while adding all the elements to the original tale, some of which I hadn't noticed the first time around. So a little bit of spoilers here. It's not that big of a spoiler, but like the fact that they were hiding Winter in the mining district. Not exactly the mining we're used to, but also something that I thought was interesting was that, so in Scarlet and Wolf are obviously Little Red Riding Hood and the Wolf, but in this book, they actually take on the Beauty and the Beast. I thought that was really cool, and I hadn't noticed it the first time around. The only thing I dislike is Lavanna, because she's the worst, but she's the villain, so she's supposed to be. I'm happy they're gonna take her down. She's gotta go. So I gave this book 5 stars, and this book completed my challenge to read a retelling, and completed my Becca's Book-Up-a-thon challenge to read a book with POC representation. And Winter definitely fits that because she is a Black Snow White character, and I love absolutely everything about her. The 9th book I was able to read was Pilu of the Wood by, I'm not sure if it's Mai or May K. Nguyen. After Pilu gets into an argument with her sister, she runs into the woods and happens upon a tree spirit named Willow, who is also run away from home. Pilu is very familiar with the woods and is determined to get Willow back home. As they venture into the woods, they learn more about each other. They see that they have a lot in common, and they uncover some things that they didn't know about themselves. I love the art style in this. I mean, just look at this cover. It is adorable. It's just so cute, and I couldn't resist picking this up. The story definitely has a valuable message, and I thought this was a quick, fun read. And this book will definitely put you in a good mood if you pick it up. So I gave this book 5 stars, and this completed my Becca's Bookathon challenge to read a cute book. And also for the Cerulean Magical Readathon, it helped with my character creation. For my background, I'm going to be wilding because it's mainly set in a forest. The 10th book I was able to read was The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. So in this book, we're featuring Linus Baker, who is a by-the-book caseworker for the department in charge of magical youth. One day, he's put on a classified assignment that's unlike anything he's faced before. The characters in this book are absolutely wonderful. These children have my heart. I think they are absolutely adorable, and I would do anything for them. I loved every moment of reading this book, and it is chock full of inspirational quotes. I was constantly writing them down, and I can't wait to add this to my collection and tab up this charming novel. I thought the epilogue was great, and it just made me so happy. I am so glad that I finally picked this up and that I can recommend this book to others because it is as good as everyone is saying. Just a little side note, so I collect bookmarks, so whenever I read a book, I go through all my bookmarks and choose which one will best fit. And I got this bookmark from my friend Emily, and it fits this book so well, so I just have to show you them together. These two go together so well, and I absolutely love it. So I obviously gave this book 5 stars and completed my Popular on BookTube challenge. For Becca's Bookopoly, it completed my challenge to read a book with a color in the title. And for the Cerulean Magical Readathon, it completed the Tower of Rumination challenge, which is to read a 5-star prediction. The 11th book I was able to read is A Vow So Bold and Deadly by Brigid Kemmerer. This is the 3rd and final book in the Cursebreakers trilogy. So I can't say too much about this last one without spoiling anything. So the first book is about Harper, who is from Washington, D.C., and one day when she's trying to stop a girl from being kidnapped, she is accidentally transported to Emberfall, where she meets Ren, who is a prince who's been cursed to relive the same season over and over until a girl can break the curse. At the end of the season, he transforms into a rampaging monster and he has no control. At this point, he has massacred his family and he has given up all hope, especially since this is his last season. You're also introduced to Gray, who is the captain of the guard and the sole survivor to remain at Iron Rose Castle. I love the characters. I think Harper and Tycho are probably my 2 favorites. I also really enjoyed having all 4 perspectives in this book. I think the second book definitely was hindered by this. Definitely go into this series knowing that the second book has 2 different perspectives than the first. I think that if the first book had included Gray's perspective rather than just Harper and Ren's, this would have been a better transition into the second book. But the second book, the characters do grow on you, and I ended up really liking that one. It just took a while to get into. I also like the fact that in this book, Harper's cerebral palsy wasn't brushed over or forgotten, because I was worried that was something that would happen. And I liked that we got to see both kingdoms, which again is something I wish we could have gotten more from the second book. I do wish that there was a little more of a resolution. It did end well, I wanted more. So here's some spoilers. Lilith is back, and I hate her so much. She's just awful. I hate everything that she's done to Ren and Gray, and that she just keeps hurting them, and it's not okay. But I wish that when facing Lilith, when she turns her anger on Tycho and is about to hurt him, I wish that's when Gray explodes in power, because he's trying to help his friend. Because it was alluded to that his magic reaches out more to protecting people than protecting himself. And I wish that had been like a pivotal moment in his magic journey. Like he would have stopped her then and then had the other stuff occur. Because it would just like, I'm not strong enough to defeat Lilith, but I am powerful enough to change so-and-so into a monster. If he had that explosion of power or that spark made for a more epic face-off between Lilith and Gray, I just thought it would have been better. But that's really my only critiques for this book, and I would also give the series 4.5 stars as well. The second book brought it down a little bit, and it's only because of the beginning. It did get better towards the end. This completed my new TBR game challenge, and for the Cerulean Magical Readathon, it completed the Ashthorn Tree challenge, which is to read a book that keeps tempting you. So those are the 11 books that I was able to read in September. So this was definitely a crazy month, but I'd love to know which books you were able to read, so let me know down in the comments. Also, if you read any of these, let me know what you thought of them. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to share the love. I'll see you next time. Bye!